All right, so today we are going to be making these little armatures for our stop motion dolls. And the things that you're going to need some wire. This is 1.5 millimeter aluminum wire. And then we're also going to have something to cut it. So got that, and then we got my little tools to shape it. So you don't need this, but you'll probably need something to cut your wire. Scissors work, but I like these. And then you're also going to need some aluminum foil. So the first thing is that I just measured out some wire. So it's about 11 inches. And then I'm going to cut that in half. So I guess like 6 inches on both sides. You can kind of just make this up as you go. It doesn't have to look a specific way, but this is the way I'm going to do it. So this first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in an X for the arms and the legs. And then I'm just going to twist it. And if you have a tool that you want to use to help you twist it, you can. This wire is really malleable, so it's really easy to shape. So after I've done that, I am going to make a little spot for the head. I'm just going to fold this over so I have something like a little place to put it. So I'm going to use it right there. And then I'm going to cut another piece of wire for the head. So I'll do it about like 3 inches long, maybe like 2.5. I cut that, and then I'm going to just make a little loop for my finger, not making it too tight. This is where I'm going to use my little shapers, where I'm going to just hold that because I don't want a little pokey sticking out. So do something like that, and then I'm going to stick this through here, and then you're going to grab that. Again, you can do this with your hands. It's just much easier with something to shape it. So I can just grab it and then like push it down, and voila, you've made a little person. The next thing that I'm going to grab is some tin foil. So I just need like a little bit of it. Okay. So I'm going to start with the head. I'm just going to like wrap the tin foil around the little head shape to make it more circular, more round. Give it a form. I'm also going to wrap the body right here and right here. It just is good for making a form and using less clay too. I also just noticed how long my arms are. I think I want to make them a little bit shorter since my feet are right here and they're quite short compared to the arms. So I'm just going to cut off a little bit of the hands just for now. And there you go. You got your little armature for step 1. All right, step 2. We are going to be making the little clay parts of the head and the body, and the legs a little bit, and the arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some gloves. I have some epoxy clay, part A and part B. I have a spoon for each because you got to keep these separated. And I also have a plate just to mix them. I also put little, I took a Sharpie and I just drew how much clay I needed from each of these because this is going to be mixed together and you need an even amount for part A and part B. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab some gloves. All right, so once you have your gloves on, you're good to go. You need to have gloves on for this part. So I'm going to grab the A first, and again, we got to keep these separated. You've got about 3 hours to work with this stuff before it hardens. And after that, it's going to harden. Even if you put it in a bag, it's still going to harden because it is epoxy clay. So the two parts together are going to make a solid clay. So I'll open this up. I'm going to grab about, this is good, like a little spoonful. So I'm just going to put it there. So I'm trying to get about the same amount of this as this. So putting the lid back on, keeping this spoon over here. Again, don't use the same spoon, use a different one. Make sure there's not clay on your hands. There's a little right here, but I'm just going to use this hand to make it so I don't get these mixed together. So that's about the same. Got about the same amount. That's perfect. I'm going to put that lid back on. And then I'm just going to put these to the side because we won't be needing them right now. So after you have your 2 parts of clay, you're going to mix them around. And you're going to do this for about 2 minutes because you want them to be thoroughly mixed. So 2 minutes. All right, so after you've mixed it together, it should look something like this. If you can still see the different colors of the epoxy, because one of them's lighter and darker, in here, you're not done mixing. You need to keep mixing it until all is one solid color. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to leave it for 5 minutes so it becomes less sticky and easier to work with. So we're just going to wait 5 minutes until we start using this. So it's been 5 minutes. I've taken off my gloves because I don't need them anymore since this is already mixed together. If you'd like to keep them on, you can. I find it harder to sculpt with them on, so I'm just going to use my hands. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to make a base for my armature. So I'm going to make a little head. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to make just like a base layer. I'm going to add clay on top of this after it's dry. So it should just look something like this right now. And then I'm going to add like the facial features later because it's easier to sculpt when I have a hard surface. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and I'm going to now add the little body part. So what I've just done is, because I want the neck to move still, I'm going to actually remove the clay from right around the neck. I probably should have kept the tinfoil up here and left a little bit of wire in the middle, but it's all right. I'm just going to go with the flow, and we're going to do it this way. So again, I just like made this part have no clay on it because this clay dries really hard, and there's not a good way to soften it up again. So we are just going to leave the arms because we want to move them. If you want to start shaping your hands, you can. I like to do those later because it's easier for me. And I'm just going to keep it like this. You also want to use the rest of your clay because it's going to harden. So even if you're going to make a little accessory out of it, like maybe you want to make a little bag or something else, that's totally fine. But try to use the rest of your clay because we don't want it to go to waste. Sometimes I'll add stuff like, even if I wanted to add a little like ponytail or something, like a little bun up there, I'm going to add that because might as well. So I'm not adding anything to the arms because I need somewhere to put it in the styrofoam. I forgot to tell you about that. Styrofoam, I need that. And you're going to, if you'd like to, you could add like little clay rings on the arms and the legs so that it will only bend where you want it to. So it's not going to bend right here. It's going to bend right here on the knee. Same with the other parts. So just keep refining this, and when you are done, you will grab some styrofoam, and then you'll just stick your creation on the styrofoam, and we're going to leave it overnight so that it hardens. So I do this because then it's not going to sag onto anything. If you leave this flat, this part might get, the back might get flat. So I'm just going to put it on like this, and voila, that's what you're going to do. Now that my armature is drying, I'm going to wash my hands off. Make sure you get all of this off because it will dry hard. So do that, and then just throw away all of your trash and just wait, and then we will work on the next part next time.